Mr. Epperson.
Here.
Mr. Escudero.
Here.
Mr. Jenkins. Present. Mr. Lynn. Ms. Lynch. Ms. McCullough. Mr. Pearson. Present. Mr. Smith. And Mr. Thibodeau. Here. Have 4, Mr. President.
All right. I'd like to have Mr. Cox lead us in the pledge, and in the prayer and coach in the pledge, please.
Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, please watch over our meeting today. Help us make decisions to further the opportunities in Caddo Parish. Watch over our troops that are abroad, and help us get through this meeting. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Face the flag and render the proper salute and say the pledge in unison. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any agenda additions? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on May 6th. Second by Coach Pearson, seconded by Mr. Dominic. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, please vote. It passes. Do we have any special resolutions, Mr. Spears?
None, sir.
All right, communications and reports. Mr. Wilson?
So we have no report today, sir.
No reports. Any communication from commissioners? None? Okay. Visitors. First, we have Miss Judy Bishop. Announce this time anyone that wishes to address the commission on any matter other than zoning, please fill out one of these cards if you haven't. Give them either to Ms. Samuels, please. Miss Judy Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you to Commissioner Pearson for getting me on the agenda and for Mr. Wilson for publishing all the information. You all know that the YWCA of Northwest Louisiana has operated in crisis for over 3 years. A lot of things have contributed to that. We've had a struggling board of directors, lots of turnover in staff leadership, and I am Judy Bishop, the retired executive director of the YWCA of Fort Worth and Tarrant County, where I served in that position for over 20 years. I was asked by the region, a 9-state region of YWCAs, if I would come and help stabilize this organization. And that is my role. I'm the interim executive director. I will be here for a few months until we get all the oars in the water and are able to stabilize the organization and continue our critical services for women and children victims of domestic violence. You have before you, I think, a document that looks like this. That is the turnaround plan for the organization. And the first goal, do you have this in front of you that has goals and then action steps?
I think you sent it to us. I have it.
Yeah.
Well, and I sent it to Mr. Wilson. Did you distribute this? The attachment?
It would just be a letter, I believe.
This is the letter.
Oh, okay. Well, this was also an attachment.
Okay, I'll make sure to get it.
But I'll walk you through it, and I'll make it as quick as possible. I know you have lots of important business. The first goal is to increase the size of the board with skilled members to ensure strong governance and aggressive fundraising. And then there are a lot of action steps to implement that goal. The second is to ensure comprehensive and strong financial management, and lots of action steps to be able to do that. The third is to increase income through fundraising efforts and self-support. The fourth is, I seem to have skipped the fourth. Fourth is to manage maintenance and repair for effective function and appearance of the facility. I think you all probably know our gorgeous building is in a deteriorating, declining condition. Fifth is to manage the human resources, and there are lots of steps in that, and to really develop the appropriate structure to be able to deliver the quality of services that people have come to rely on in this community. The sixth is to enhance community relations. I think you all know that our community relations have been poor at best. Lots of bad press, lots of ill will toward the YW, and we will work very hard to develop good relationships in this community and the respect that the organization deserves. The seventh is to provide quality programs that address community needs and have measurable outcomes and impact on the clients served. And one of the things we'll be doing in this next year is using the Community Foundation assessment to determine gaps in services, duplication in services, what programs would be best suited for the YWCA as we move forward. In addition, the board has two more goals that are not on this plan for the public necessarily, but pardon me. One has to do with our participation in the Southwest Delta region of YWCAs. And then the last one is to develop a process to hire a skilled, qualified, experienced executive director to lead this organization and move it forward. We are requesting from you all, and first I want to thank you for the $15,000 in funding you provided for us for food and supplies for the women and children in our shelter. And we are very grateful for that and appreciate your support. We are also requesting that you consider funding to support the implementation of this plan. The financial condition of the YWCA is dire, and unless we can get the funding to stabilize the organization so that this plan can be implemented and the turnaround can be realized, we're not going to be able to survive. So my request to you on behalf of the YWCA Northwest Louisiana Board of Directors is to consider granting emergency funding to this organization.
The amount of?
$50,000.
50,000 is our need. We would be incredibly grateful for anything that you might be able to do. We are meeting, we've been diligent in working this plan. I thought as I got it out of the folder, I need to update the progress and where we are. And some things we have met with the Community Foundation and the Beard Foundation. We have lots of appointments next week. Again, asking people to support the turnaround and the future of the YWCA. This year, we will celebrate 30 years of providing services for survivors of domestic violence.
You got me.
Do you all have any questions?
Okay, you finished with your presentation?
I am finished,
Okay.
I'm
Anyone
sorry.
have any questions, please? Let's get in line. I'm getting off the screen here, right, because I can't tell what's going on.
Just a minute, sir. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Pearson?
Is the United Way on board, Mr. Fowler?
United Way, the YWCA does not receive United Way funding at this time, but that is one of the appointments that we're making, is to talk about what the reapplication process would be.
And how long do you think it would take to get it back operating?
I think if we can get, and I will tell you, my YWCA in Tarrant County was in this same condition when I went there 21 years ago. The only difference was we didn't have the poor community relations and poor community image. But we were in dire straits financially. We were in a building built in 1928. It will take us 6 to 9 months to stabilize it. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be well. There will be a next year turnaround plan and the year after that. I would anticipate it's going to take 3 years to really get the organization where it is thriving again.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lynch?
Certainly, I want to first thank you for accepting the challenge to come into our community to assist us. I'm hopeful and confident that the qualified person that you're talking about is someone that is within this community, because I certainly think that we have persons who can step up and effectively be the executive director of the Y. But I think, as you said, the community relations and the image has probably scared some people away. We're very familiar with Tarrant County. We've been to Tarrant County for several things. The incoming president for our national organization, Glenn Whitley, Judge Glenn Whitley.
I love Glenn Whitley.
Somebody, that we're
We're friends.
have a good relationship with, as well as Commissioner Roy Brooks.
Yes, Roy
Tarrant
Brooks
County.
is a real friend.
So thank you and welcome to our community.
Thank you, and like you, I would really be a strong advocate for the new executive director to be from this area and to already have connections and contacts. But I don't think this position would attract anyone until we get it stabilized.
Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. Despite the recent concerns with the Y, I recognize that the Y has done a lot of good things in the community. I've served on the board of Northwest Louisiana Legal Services for many years. In fact, I chair that board now. We work hand in hand
Yes, we
with
do.
the Y, and I've seen firsthand the issues of domestic violence and what it does to families, what it does to victims, and what it does to children. In that regard, I think the Y plays a very important role in our community. The plan that you have, what is the total cost of that plan?
About $150,000.
And as far as the parish, I know you're asking us to consider providing some funds to it. Do you have in mind, or do the board have in mind what the use of the parish funds would be?
The use of the parish funds would be toward payroll while we implement this plan, the payroll of the case managers and the shelter workers.
Well, I'm going to encourage you to maybe, talk with the president of the commission, people in our finance department about the use of parish funds and the role that we can possibly play when we talk about funding. Do you all have I know that you came before the commission last year and was provided some funding. Do you have an updated application on file for this grant? Have you filed an application for it, or is this just a verbal presentation today?
I do not. I know we received $15,000 from you all for food and supplies for the women and children in the shelter.
Well, I simply want to encourage you to speak with Commission President and the head of the committee for NGOs and some people in our finance department. And I certainly would like to see, some kind of written application or some process like that to determine the use of parish funds, if any now, that may come out of your request. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else?
I want to thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you, Ms.
your
Bishop.
consideration.
Next, we have Miss Lillian Priest. Please come forward, state your name and address, be recognized.
Good evening. I'm Lillian Priest, 2613 Parham Drive, Shreveport, Louisiana. Thank you, President Escudade and members of the Parish Commission, Administrator Wilson. I'm here in the capacity for the 2010 census. Of course, you know, I appeared before you some months ago when we initially implemented and started the census for Northwest Louisiana. Thank you for your support and thank you for your participation. During that time, it was basically the mail-back response rate. I want to report to you that Northwest Louisiana did very well with the mail-back response rate. The national mail-back response rate was 72%. Caddo Parish's mail-back response rate was 70%. Shreveport's mail-back response rate was 71%. So we were on par, on target.
We're almost average.
And we want to thank each and every one of you for that support. And if you can also go on the website and you can look at the various towns or municipalities within Caddo Parish and pull up the response rate for each of those towns or municipalities. So now, that part of the census is over. Where are we now? April 1 is passed with the mail-back response rate and the census day. Well, now we're to the point for the next phase, and that's when you're going to start seeing individuals out in the communities trying to get those individuals and make contact with the individuals who did not fill out the questionnaire and mail it back in. So as you can see, if 70 to 71% fill out the questionnaires and mail it back in, not a hard work to do, and we need your support. So we're really almost done. So what's happening now is the mailback, the non-response follow-up, and that's going to run from May to really July the 10th. So I'm here to, again, ask for your support as you go back into your districts and what have you, to encourage individuals that when a census worker comes to knock on the door, you know, to answer, to open the door, they're not going to go in, but to open the door, answer the 10 questions that's on the questionnaire, very short. I know each and every one of you filled out your questionnaire and mailed it back in, so you know what's on there. So we're encouraging your support as you go back to your constituents to encourage individuals who did not fill out the questionnaire. Now is the the non-response follow-up. Cooperate with the census workers. All census workers will be identified with a badge, ID, and they will not ask for any type of personal information. They do not ask for Social Security numbers. They do not ask for bank account numbers or anything of that nature. There's a number if anyone suspects that it's something that's not correct or not right, that they can call to verify. So I'm basically here to, one, thank you for assisting in making sure that Caddo Parish and Northwest Louisiana participated strongly in the first phase, which was the mail-back response rate. And now we're at the tail end, and we can really make a huge difference in Northwest Louisiana and Caddo Parish by fully participating with the non-response follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
In relation to the presentation that Ms. Priest just made, it's been a while since I looked at the website. Is there anything on the website about participation with the 2010 census? Do we have anything on that encouraging citizens to participate and what to expect?
Mr. I need to check. I'm not sure.
I'll
check today.
If not, I'd like to see us have something on there encouraging citizens to respond to that and know that there will be people working in the community and what to look for as far as identification and how important it is for us to be involved in the census. And I'm sure all of our employees have participated, but just in case, maybe some communication could go down the flag, asking them to make sure that if they miss the opportunity to mail it back in, that, you know, the census workers will be out working and they could become involved in that matter. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Next, we have Miss Susan Winkler. Name and address for the record, and wait 5 minutes summary of what you need.
It'll be less than that.
We know.
Susan Winkler, 618 Robert Travis Drive, in Lindora's district, which I'm very grateful to her. She's very sweet. In my opinion, the property that you know about for Mark Yon on the north corner of Robert Travis and the things that you asked him to do, in my opinion, I do not see that any of those have been met. And I don't see that there's a lot I need to say about it, except that it's just not done.
I've been told that we're on it as soon as Mr. Demichet gets back in town, and everything will be in the works to do what needs to be done.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishes to address the commission on any matter other than zoning? All right, thank you very much. Next, we have our public hearing on ordinances, please.
Yes, sir. First one is ordinance 4979, major code of ordinances by adding the portion of Buncombe Road in the list of no parking zones.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item, please.
Next, ordinance 4980, major code of ordinances regarding required incident reporting for oil, gas, and other hydrocarbon well operations.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition to it? Very well, thank you.
And ordinance 4981 deems an incinerator to be surplus and conveyed to the sheriff's office.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition? All right, proceed.
That concludes the public hearing. We'll move right back through those same ordinances. Ordinance 4979, code of ordinances to add Buncombe Road with no parking zones.
Recommend approval. Moved by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Baker. Do we have any discussion on this ordinance? Please vote. Passes. Next item, please. Mr. Cox, there you go. Thank you. Next ordinance.
Ordinance 4980 requires incident reporting for oil, gas, and other hydrocarbon well operations.
Moved by Commissioner Smith. Seconded by Commissioner Pearson. Is there any discussion on this motion? Please vote. And it passes. Next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 4981 gives a surplus incinerator to the sheriff's office.
Moved by Commissioner Baker, seconded by Commissioner Dominic. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Please vote. Very good. Next, please.
Yes, sir. All ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance 4982 sets parish millages for principal and interest on outstanding parish bond issues. Ordinance 4983 adopts the values fixed by the Tax Commission on assessments for railways and public service corporations. Ordinance 4984 sets general purpose millage and special purpose millages for 2010. Ordinance 4985 that sets the assessment on property classified as timberlands. Ordinance 4987 amends your juvenile criminal justice fund budget in the amount of $30,000 from the jail expansion study at Caddo Correctional Center. Ordinance 4988 amends your general fund budget in the amount of $20,000 to obtain professional services for a redistricting plan and concurs with the 2010 census. Ordinance 4989 authorizes the administrator to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the village of Gillum concerning recreational services. Ordinance 4990 revokes dedication of Cravett Street located in Duke's Estates in the parish. Ordinance 4991 revokes dedication of a portion of Kingwood Drive in Northwood Terrace subdivision. Ordinance 4992 revokes dedication of a portion of Northwood Drive in Northwood Terrace subdivision.
Very good, thank you. Make a motion to ratify.
You don't have those.
We don't have those?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Next resolutions, please.
Resolution 31 provides for the canvassing of the returns of the special election held on Saturday, May 1st.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Baker. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Please vote. Passes. Next item, please.
Confirm travel for up to 2 representatives from the commission to attend Green Economy Forum in Cook County, Illinois.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Epperson. Second by Commissioner Baker. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Lynch, and before Commissioner Lynch, you speak, I want to clear up a matter. We had some discussion about procedure Monday. We were incorrect. This just needs a simple majority. It doesn't need any special consideration. Okay. Commissioner Lynch?
Say, on last year, we commemorated our 25th anniversary. We had an opportunity to kind of glance back at the history of the commission over the last 25 years. One of the two, I guess, major points of contention for our governing body has largely centered around NGOs and our travel policy. Since that time, we've made significant changes to both in terms of our NGOs. We've added more transparency and accountability to the process. In the case of our travel policy, I believe that it, like our bylaws, needs some tweaking. We've made small steps forward in terms of our travel policy, which has increased in response to the complex needs and changing demands of our constituency. By traveling, networking, and lobbying, Caddo Parish has increased its capacity in the areas of criminal justice, economic development, and federal appropriations. In the 6 years that I've been here, it's primarily been maybe 5 to 7 commissioners that have consistently traveled over that period of time. It's been black and white, it's been male and female, Republican and Democrat. Also in the 6 years that I've been here, the 5 to 6 commissioners who either were unwilling to travel or refused to travel for whatever reason have primarily been one race, one gender, and largely one party affiliation. So you see, we've kind of had 5 to 7 steps going forward and sometimes 5 to 6 steps going backwards. And I'm just asking that this commission will put an end to this practice on today.
Mr. Jenkins?
I do not want to go back to the days where people could not support and vote for things that did not come from people that either thought like them or looked like them. We lost a good public servant today, former Commissioner Joyce Bowman, Councilwoman Joyce Bowman, made an announcement that she was not going to be seeking re-election, partly because of the disunity and the discord that has occurred on the governing body that she served on for the last 4 years, which believably stress and all of the things that we have to deal with can negatively affect your health. I do not want to see our commission go backwards. I know when we came on, Commissioner Cox, one of the things he used to say to me is, Stephanie, be patient. You know, when certain people leave, there are certain things that we'll be able to do, and I think we have done some of those things. But I also am seeing some reversion in our mentality and in our attitude as to how we continue to progress. And even though I've tried to address some concerns that people have expressed to me, I think largely budgetary. We looked at it today. That's not an issue this particular trip. NACO is picking up some of the expense, and it doesn't even represent even a ripple in the vast, ocean that we have even available, particularly in the travel budget, but even in our overall budget. And so I've had private conversations that we've talked back and forth by email, and I think you all know me as well as I know you. The 5 to 7 commissioners that travel have consistently brought things back that have benefited this parish and benefited the citizens of Caddo Parish. And I just don't want to see us continue to get tripped up on basically, I'll say chicken feed for the TV on something like this. So I'll just ask for you all's support today on this agenda item. Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be supporting this motion today because I believe that the green economy, this is a trend that is taking place across the nation, and it's entrenching very, very quickly. And it's really an economic issue. I think it'd be worth an investment to have someone there, whoever this commission, decides to be there. It'll be worth the investment to have someone there to get information on it. There's already federal and state legislation, including the state of Louisiana, dealing with the issue of the green economy. And there's going to be funding that's going to be coming down the line to those municipalities who are equipped and ready to move forward with some kind of a plan for the green economy. Not only that, if you take a good look at that legislation, there's going to be tax breaks that our citizens can benefit from. But I think, we have to take the lead as elected officials and try to gather the information and maybe take a look at it as a governmental body and look at it as an economic issue and something that we need to be ready for. We don't need to be behind on issues like this. Just about every national magazine, national newsletter, just about any national program that I see, they're talking about this green economy. And it's a thing that's coming. It's a thing I think we need to educate ourselves on and be ready for. And I believe that it would be worth the investment I see in having someone there to collect information, bring it back, disseminate it to us, and to make the contacts. 90% of getting things done sometimes is just being in the right place at the right time and being on the scene. So I know there's a travel expense involved, but in all honesty, I've seen travel for things that may not come to the level of the importance of this type of a program. So I will be supporting it for that reason, because I do think it's an economic issue and there's going to be some benefits in it down the road. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Anyone else? Mr. Wilson, do we have, are you assigned a representative of the parish to attend this conference?
I believe Mr. Ken will schedule to go, sir.
Is he or is he not?
He is.
He is. And is he going to come back and report to you?
Yes, sir.
And therefore you're going to report to us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? Let's vote, please. Passes. Last item.
Motion to authorize administrator to request an AG opinion relative to providing funding for an elevator at American Legion post.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Dominic. Any discussion on this motion? If not, please vote. That passes, and we're adjourned.
Move to go.